Hey Wolcen, how you been? It's been a while. Hear you got a new patch out. Let's see how things are going. Alright, welcome. This is Devin from Deadly Iron Gamings. For those coming for the first time, welcome. For those coming back, welcome back. Um, so yeah, we've got here Wolcen's, the goods, the bads, the uglies, all that stuff. But first off, if you do like the content, please smash that like button. If you want to keep up to date with my reviews, my guides, my live streams, all that jazz, I cover a ton of different games, wide variety of genres. So feel free to subscribe to keep up to date. And also, the Discord, I do have a Discord, is down below. Feel free to join us and chit chat with us, all games related, whatever the case may be. We're there. I even have a channel to where you can chat with me while I'm live streaming through the Discord, so you don't have to jump into Twitch or YouTube if you don't want to. Yeah, Wolcen. First, we're gonna go over the goods, then we're gonna go to the bads, and then my ending thoughts at the end. Um, so essentially, with the patch, it was a pretty big patch. And then shortly after that, there was another pretty big patch, but a lot of stuff changed. Like I said, I've been away from it for a bit of a time, just because I got tired of all the issues it was having. So I finally patch come out, so I'm getting back into it, giving it another go. Um, so as far as this patch, one of my favorite things is the BloodTrail. Um, Being able to giving us the ability to modify the game even from the get-go of just playing the story, not just whenever you get to the end and you're doing the in-game stuff where you can pick your damage modifiers and stuff to increase the magic find damage, make it more challenging and all that fun stuff. You can kind of get that while you're playing. Um, so I thought that was really good. They also updated the crafting window, made that more streamlined, looks really smooth. I really like that. Uh, Pets look pretty good in it. They also added a bunch of nodes in the passive tree to where builds are going to be a little bit more challenging to get to all the nodes that you want to. It won't be like you were before, where you'll be able to just um, spread out all over the place and get a bunch of them. So there's a lot more nodes to get through to get to stuff. So it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge to min max your builds and get them functioning uh, as best as possible. They did change the attribute system to where like the damage modifiers and the damage you gain from the attributes aren't as big as they were before. So you're not going to be able to just stat dump in your fields to where you can get insane damage from just doing stuff like that. So you can't do that no more. Uh, it's not going to be as productive. Um, so, I mean, as far as a game, my main good parts of it is crafting windows looking a lot better. The BloodTrail, I really enjoy that, having that ability to modify things and all that stuff. The graphics are still there. I enjoy the graphics of the game. Um, some of the a lot of the gameplay is there, and there's a lot of customizability to your classes to make it your own. But it's just it ends up being so where it's kind of geared around certain skills. There are some that still need some more work. Um, but those are getting some of them are getting better to where you're able to use other ones more. But yeah, That's pretty much the gist of the good. Um, the bad is the same as before: bugs, crashes, computer issues, glitches. I mean, just you name it, you can find it. I alone was having graphic issues where shadows or shaders weren't going in correctly. Like I'd be able to go through an area and there'd be one look, and then all of a sudden I'd get close to one thing, and all of a sudden, poof, there's the shadows. Like I could step forward or step back, and it would be there and it would disappear. And I have everything in max settings. I have a great gaming PC, so it's not my setup. Uh, but it wasn't everywhere. I did see it several times. Um, so that was a big negative for me. I had a couple times where I had like freezes, like the game was about to crash, but it didn't for me. But I have been reading a lot of reviews, a lot of comments about the patch from other players, other streamers, content creators, and stuff like that. They it's still the same issue, and that's one of the biggest things that everybody had, is that there's no a lot of the bugs that were there that drove people away are still there. The crashes in multiplayer. Some are even reporting they're having where they're losing items in storage again. Um, I mean, some big stuff like that makes it hard to play. And being that they've had these issues for so long and they still haven't fixed them all. They have fixed some, but not all the ones mainly pertaining to multiplayer. So I meant, and that's where I stand as far as the game, is that it's got so much potential to be a great game for people to love it. Is at this point in time we've gone so far with all this that um, now it's to the point where they've lost so much potential player base that most aren't going to give it a time of day again. This patch was, for most people that I know that really liked Wolcen and the potential behind it, this patch was the make or break moment for them. And that's why I feel I don't know how much longer they're going to last. Because it's been nothing but negative from the start. Um, I'm wondering how much longer the backers, the people that are funding it, how much more they can withstand of putting money into something that just they can't get it right. They can't get the patches right. They can't get it out and polished enough to where what bugs that are there. Because I mean, I've done development. I do graphic design. I've done programming. I've done the back ends of games. I understand it's not easy, and I understand there's never going to be the perfect patch. I've been gaming for a long time, and I've been doing design. I've worked with developers. I understand and I know how it works. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be issues, but it's the making sure it's polished enough to where what issues you do have are not gaming breaking enough to get everybody upset, essentially. So I meant that's where the quality control, the testing in the back end, and all that stuff comes in. Because if you already have a bunch of issues going into the patch, and then you bring a patch that makes things worse, someone failed something. Because you shouldn't make a game worse by putting a patch, or not a patch, but this, and that's the one thing that bugged me is that Chronicle One before months ago they were supposed to release some of this content back then, but they decided to push it off, and then they did all the balancing, the bug fixes, trying to fix all that stuff back then. They pushed all the content to now. So, I mean, if y'all saw the patch notes, um, I mean, let's go to the patch notes real quick. If I can remember where they are, there they go. So, you can come to the patch notes here and see everything that they've done. Okay, so quality of life stuff, balancing, gameplay, affixes, ailments, economy, gates of fate, 126 new minor nodes. That took a lot of work for them to do. Items, long list of stuff that they've added, changed, adjusted, active skills. Let's see. And that's one thing that I was bummed too. That I was kind of bummed that there wasn't any really new skills to try out. So essentially, you go back to the game. It's a new update. You still get to play with the same stuff you've always had, but they had to wipe everybody. Well, they didn't wipe everybody. They made all your old characters stay in Legacy, and then you had to make new characters playing in a new update, which ticked off a lot of people. I kind of understand it, but as much negative stuff that they had going on, I know it was kind of hard to do. I mean, they could have just respect everybody and just let everybody re-put their points back in. Um, but hey, that's just me. But all these changes that they made here, long list of stuff. And then you get to this one where there's still a couple more stuff. And then you get to the bug fixes. You get a little bit here as far as gameplay. Looks kind of minor to me. Items. Didn't really touch much of fixing current items. Fixing, not like altering or changing stats. Active skills. A handful of skill stuff fixed. Enemies. Small amount of enemy fixes. Environment. Another small amount of environment fixes. And then localization. Okay, so we fixed a bunch of wording. Tooltips. That's like the biggest part of this is fixing of tooltips and localization. I'm like, okay. User interface. 4 things. And then audio. Got some audio issues. So, and that's one thing I had an issue with after the patch is that there was a tearing sound, like a crunching, tearing sound in the background that you would normally hear when you get around something, but it was nonstop. You couldn't, no matter what map you went into, you had it, and it drove me insane. I ended up having to turn the sound on that one bar off to get that to go away. But you got a bunch of audio fixes. I think it looks like that one's actually a little bit bigger. Visual FXs, 2 things. Okay. And then technical. You got about as much technical as you do like audio. Um, and got character sheet stuff, something about the friends request when you're starting up the game. Fixed a client clash randomly happening when using feeding swarm. So there's one client crash there. Um, crash when game files for dies were manually modified in the wrong way. Why you would be manually modifying the files? Yeah. Uh, and then let's see if there's any other crash. Havoc or Magic Find. So it looks like they fixed 2 client crashes, and that's about it. And a bunch of other minor stuff. Um, so to have the issues people are having with all the crashes they're having now, uh, it's beyond me. You would have thought they would have testing to where they would had more crashing fixed. It's almost like they fixed a couple just to generate more. Um, so that's just where I stand as far as the patch notes, the fixing of bugs. It's like they can't get themselves ahead of the bugs, the issues, the crashes, um, the severity of the issues that people are having. Um, and it's just burying them into a hole. And I don't know if they're ever going to get out of it. So we will definitely see. I know there's going to be several patches coming up with it. Right now they're at a 60 Metacritic review. So, but let's look at some of the recent ones just to kind of see what everybody's saying. I mean, you can see how it's pretty much all negative stuff. I mean, people are not happy, and rightfully so. There's a lot of issues that need to be fixed. Um, so I hope for the best for them. I hope they pull it out. I might come back to the game um, in a few months. If they have another big update, I will come back and I will try it again. I will keep trying it every time they come out with a big patch to fix things or implement new stuff like content and stuff like that. So I will definitely keep trying it because like I said, I do like the idea and I do like the way the what their plans are for it and the view of where they want the game to go. I think it has a lot of potential. I think it's going to be a great game. It's just how long is it going to take for them to get there and are they going to be able to make it there? That's my concern. Um, it is still fun. Like for a new player that doesn't know the history of Wolcen, it could be good as long as they don't have the issues with the crashes, the bugs, and all that stuff, and they actually have some good playthrough. Yes, they'll have fun. But at this rate, what's the chances of them being that perfect scenario where they don't have all that stuff? Maybe the occasional little bug here and there, but that most people can live with. Uh, but constantly crashing offline, constantly crashing in multiplayer, not able to play with your friends and all that stuff, or if you're not crashing, your friends crashing because y'all can never play together. It's just never-ending hassle of getting things where it needs to be to where you can have fun and enjoy the game. Um, so yeah, that's where I stand. That's my opinions. of the game. I wish them the best of luck. I think it will be a great game in the end. It's just how many will stick it out to that point. Um, because like I said, I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna keep trying it. If it comes back to where it's starting, they fix all those bugs and issues that I was having to where I was just getting frustrated. Because like another thing that I dislike about the game is that the start of it, like the early on, is so slow. You don't hardly have any skills. Um, I mean, yeah, you might make a character and you might get lucky, and you have skills. You get some drop. Um, but my playthrough this time, since it was a new character, I didn't have some in my storage from another character or anything like that. I didn't get any skills drop, so I was just running around with the one or two that I started out with, and that was it. I took me forever. It got to the point where I was taking a while to kill stuff. I was dying a bit just because I didn't have the skills to sustain the damage. It was just getting kind of frustrating. Finally got enough money to buy a skill. It was getting a little bit better since I had a little bit more of um, a difference of skills to press other than just pressing one and two repeatedly. Um, and then eventually I got enough money to buy my next one. I didn't start getting any skill things drop until after I pretty much had already bought all the ones I wanted, or that I was kind of wanting to gear towards for my build. Um, which is kind of frustrating to most games. You generally don't have to buy your skills like that, especially in a game that your skills drop in. I mean, I could understood if I would have got random other skills that I possibly didn't really want to use for my current build, but a skill would have been better than no skill. So I mean that's where I was getting kind of frustrated that it was kind of making my level progression so dragged and so slow that the fun potential of the game was being dragged with it. So, uh, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of give y'all a rundown of the goods, the bads, the uglies. A lot of people are having issues with the game, crashes, graphic glitches. I even had a couple people state that they are having issues where it messed up their laptops or their computers to where they had to go restore from a backup. Just random stuff like that. Just, I mean, there's a lot of software issues. There's a lot of in-game issues. There's a lot of crashes, bugs fixed, bugs. Um, so a bunch of issues with the game, and people are really getting to the point where they're done. Um, but that's where we're at now. I honestly think, like I was saying earlier, they were supposed to have content put out months ago, but they pushed it off to this till BloodTrail came out, and it kind of looks like they were trying to put smash as much content, new changes, additions into this update to kind of be like, look at everything we've done type thing. And it's backfiring now because, yes, you had a bunch of stuff, but the quality wasn't there to not launch it with a bunch of game breaking issues that people are having that shouldn't be there or this bad. Um, and a lot of people are ticked off right now also is that they've been radio silent for so long. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, the new update's coming up. They gave us a little teaser video that didn't show much of nothing, and then was like, it's coming soon, and then all of a sudden, no one had a release date. No one had any idea when it was coming out, and all of a sudden, bam, here it is. And we're all like, okay, because I know a lot of people in the gaming industry, they generally, whenever something huge like that, they take off work, which usually takes some planning, or, hey, boss, I'm taking off next Friday, that kind of stuff. So no one could really plan for it. No one really kind of knew what was going on. So it was kind of a surprise for everybody, um, and which is fine. I mean, hey, Uh, but my thing is that why were they silent? Completely no info, no words, nothing on their Twitter. I mean, nothing on any of their platforms. Not a word for months. I've never seen, or I won't say never. I have seen a couple that are got pretty bad at times, but you shouldn't be doing anything like that because that just kills a base because a communication is key between the devs and us, the player base, because we know that makes us feel we're part of the team, that they're listening to us, they're hearing us, they're hearing our concerns and all that stuff. If they don't say a peep, not one word, not one announcement, not hey, how y'all doing, happy this, nothing, absolutely nothing, that's not good. So, but I do hope y'all enjoyed the content. If you do, please hit that like button. If you want to keep up to date with my reviews, my guides, my build guides, live streams, all that fun stuff, smash that subscribe down button down below. Also, join us in the Discord link down below. We'd love to have you. Like I said, we there if you chat about anything game related. We're there. We're non-game related. Don't really matter. We're just here to have fun. Feel free to join us. More happy to play multiplayer, jump around games, play together. More than happy to have you. Other than that, my name is Devin from Deadly Art Games, and you all have a great one. See y'all next time.